Good evening and welcome back to Fox 23 News at 9. I'm Zach Seminar. Coming off of a sweep of Mississippi State, Southern Miss Golden Eagles had a bit of a letdown last night in Mobile. Going up against the top 25 team for the fourth straight timeout turned out to be too much for the Golden Eagles, who dropped a 10-9 slugfest to South Alabama. Luke Reynolds remained hot at the dish with 3 hits, but the Eags did drop to 3-1. Golden Eagles also canceled their weekend trip to Nacogdoches this weekend, where they were supposed to play South Dakota State, UT Arlington, and Stephen F. Austin. Due to heavy rains, the reason why they canceled that trip, they are hoping to add some games in the Atlanta, Georgia area this weekend where they can stay just a bit more dry. Southern Miss men's basketball team back in action tomorrow. They have just 3 more regular season games remaining, 2 of which on the road. Tomorrow's game against the Roadrunners of UTSA tips off at 7 p.m. from the Alamo City. A record-setting start to the season, accompanied by an SEC regular season championship, has landed MSU head coach Vic Schaefer on the semifinalist list for the Naismith Women's College Coach of the Year award. The Dogs are 28-0. They're 14-0 in league play with just 2 regular season games left. 9 other coaches, including Gino Auriemma and Kim Mulkey of Baylor, were named to that list. Schaefer was named a finalist for the award last season. Mississippi State softball team improved to 9-1 on Tuesday night when Morgan Bell delivered a timely smash down the left field line as the Lady Dogs walked off in an 8-inning thriller over Southeastern Louisiana 3-2. The Dogs' lone loss of the season so far came back on Friday to Drake. The season is about to get much more challenging for the team that is yet to face a Power 5 conference foe. Their next 3 games will end that when they play Arizona State, Nebraska, and Oklahoma State beginning tomorrow. Mississippi State men's basketball team's win over Texas A&M went a long ways in their quest to make an appearance in this year's NCAA tournament. The Aggies, who looked like a conference contender earlier in the season, were bullied by a handful of Bulldogs who scored in double figures in their 93-81 win. Abdul Adu led the charge with 19 points, 9 boards, and 2 blocks as MSU won their 20th game of the season. It's just the 18th time in program history that they've managed to win 20 games or more in the same year. MSU now sits 5th in the SEC. They are 8-7. The Rebels playing their first game without Andy Kennedy last night on the road in Columbia. Got a bucket in the closing seconds of regulation from Breon Tyree to force overtime, and then Ole Miss held the Tigers to just 3 free throws in overtime to snap their 7-game losing streak. Tyree finished with 25 points in the evening to help interim head coach Tony Madlock pick up his first victory at the helm at Ole Miss. Terrence Davis had 19 in the win for the Rebels, who sit at 5-10 in the conference. 3 regular season games left for them. The loss for Missouri, that was a devastating one for their tournament hopes. They're 8-7 now in league play. No NHL players equals big problems for the United States. Last night's Olympic Games, the U.S. was eliminated from the Olympics last night by the Czech Republic in a shootout. The U.S. failed to capitalize on their 5 power plays and will now be heading home. First time that they've headed home so early since 2008. And then on the slopes, Lindsey Vonn earned a spot on the podium in what was likely one of her last Olympic races. Vonn didn't take home the gold, but it was a great ending to her career. Nonetheless, she took home bronze in the women's downhill. She's the oldest female alpine skiing medalist in Olympic history. Vonn will compete Thursday in the alpine combined.
And old Father Time always wins.
Yeah, and it was an emotional win for her last night. I heard her, she said something along the lines of that it felt like she won gold,
right,
even though it was only bronze.
Yeah.
That's how special it meant to her.
Yeah, she doesn't know how much longer she'll be doing this for.
Yeah.
Thanks.